When you first launch After Effects, you might be confused at first, but I'll help you take the first steps. As you can see right here, there are different sections or areas that are called panels. On the top left, there is the project panel. This is basically your storage shelf. It will contain the video and image files and the audio files that you will import into After Effects. You can import your files by going to File, Import, then File, or you can use the shortcut Control and the letter I on the keyboard if you are using Windows, or Command I if you are using Mac. Then you can import whatever files you have. For example, in my case, let's get this video file in here. Also, you can import stuff by just double clicking on the project panel directly, and I'll just grab this YouTube logo file. Oh, by the way, I'm not doing a boring intro for this mini course, we're just jumping cold turkey with it. Okay, now that we have imported some files into After Effects, let's create a composition to start working on our video. We can name it, for example, Animation 1. And if you are following along and you want to create a composition with me, just focus on the basic tab for now. No need to go through these sections if you are starting out. If you are working on a standard 1080p video, you can leave the resolution as it is, 1920 by 1080. But if your video is in the vertical format, for example, it's a TikTok video, you can flip the resolution and make it 1080 by 1920. But we're just gonna make a normal horizontal video. No need to check the preset section. And for the frame rate, you can leave this at 30 frames per second. No big deal. You can set a duration for your composition. For me, it's a 14-second composition, but if you're making a video that's gonna last 60 seconds, or 2 minutes, or maybe 5 seconds, I don't know, you can set its duration here. Also, no need to mess with the background color for now. Click OK. So now if we drag our video to this section that's called the timeline, you can see that our program monitor or preview window is now showing us the video instead of a black screen. By the way, you can hover over the edges of each panel until this icon appears on the screen, and then you can drag and resize each panel as much as you want. For example, if I want a bigger preview window, I can just resize it. But if you panic and suddenly make a panel disappear like this, first of all, take a deep breath, then go to the window menu, open up Workspace, and then simply click on Reset Default to Saved Layout. And as you can see, the problem is fixed. Now we can add more stuff on the timeline, like this logo for example. If you want to resize an image, you can do so by selecting one of these dots, holding Shift on the keyboard, then dragging the image towards the center with the cursor. So these are essentially the two layers that we have on the timeline for now. If we put the logo layer underneath the video layer, it will get hidden because the latter is way bigger. You can hide these layers by toggling this eye symbol right here. If you press the spacebar on the keyboard, the video will be played. If the preview is lagging for one reason or another, you can lower the resolution of this preview a bit to get a smoother playback. Now let's create some animation for our logo, and to do so, let's click on this arrow over here, and let's expand this thing that's called transform. Here you can change the position of the image layer by dragging these values up and down, or by simply setting a precise value of your choice. You can also click directly on the image and drag the cursor to move it around. And to actually make the animation and have the logo move around the screen, we need to set some keyframes. Keyframes are basically markers that define a starting and an ending point for animations, telling After Effects how a property changes over time. You will see how they work in just a second. Let's move the logo to the right side, and let's click on the stopwatch of the position setting. You see this dot right here on the timeline? That's our starting keyframe. By the way, this blue arrow is called the time indicator. Let's move the time indicator, let's say 3 seconds from the starting keyframe. And now if we change the position of the logo, you can see that we now have another keyframe. And that's basically the first animation that you made, assuming you are following this video with After Effects opened and not watching it on your phone. If you make the keyframes closer to each other, the animation will move quicker, and the further you put them away from each other, the animation will take longer to complete. Now that we got that out of the way, we can move ahead beyond this last keyframe and make this logo bigger in size over time. And to do that, let's click on the stopwatch of the scale setting right here, move ahead a few seconds on the timeline, and then increase the scale slightly. And as you can see, we added another animation. But these animations do look a bit ugly though, don't they? In After Effects, we can smooth up animations by selecting the keyframes, hitting F9 on the keyboard, or we can select them, right-click them, and then click on the Easy Ease button. Easy Ease will smooth up your keyframes, and as you can see the side-by-side comparison, it will speed up the animation over time and slow it down before the logo stops moving. Now it's time for us to add some text on the screen. To create a text layer, activate the text tool over here and click anywhere on the program monitor and start typing anything. for example the word subscribe. And after that we can reactivate the selection tool by either clicking on it inside the tools bar or using the shortcut V on the keyboard. We can then drag the text around any area we want, and we can now customize the text using the text panel. You can change the font, for example. You can also resize the text, make it either bigger or smaller in size. You can also open up this box and basically change the color of your text. Let's make it red, for example. To align the text in the center, you can use the Align tab over here. We can also drag the start of the text layer and move it towards the ending part of the logo animation. So that's where the text should appear on the screen. We can do that to any layer, by the way, even if it's an image or a video. To copy part of a layer, hit Ctrl-Shift-D on the keyboard on the exact timestamp of your choosing, and then delete the leftover part. We can also add a fade-in effect by selecting the text layer, hitting the letter T on the keyboard, and now we can click the stopwatch of the opacity setting of our text, change the opacity to 0, move a few seconds forward on the timeline, then change the opacity back to 100%. And that's how you create the simple fade-in effect, but I'm just gonna undo this real quick so we can use some built-in effects. Alright, so let's focus now on some of the effects that we will be adding. Here on the right side, you can see a panel called Effects and Presets. You will find a ton of effects that will overwhelm you at first, but don't worry because you're not gonna need most of these if you're just a beginner. For example, for the text that we have here, we can search for an effect called Fade Up Characters. We can drag it onto our text, and as you can see, we now have sort of a typewriter effect going on. We can hit you on the keyboard to see the keyframes, and you can basically make the animation quicker by moving the keyframes, etc. Now let's unhide the video layer. We can add sort of a focus effect onto this video, and the fastest way we can do this is we go to the effects panel, search for something called Gaussian blur, drag the Gaussian blur onto the specific layer you're choosing, which is in my case the video layer, and now in the effect controls panel we can increase the amount of blurriness, and as you can see now we have a focus effect going on. You can also add a black and white effect. For example, right here I have imported a freshly new video, and to apply the black and white effect onto this video, we can do that by searching for something called Lumetri Color inside the search box. Let's drag the Lumetri Color onto the video, and now in the effect controls panel, let's open up the basic correction tab. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna decrease the saturation all the way to 0. And as you can see, by doing so, the video lost all of its colors. If you want to get this to the next level, you can click the stopwatch of the saturation, with the value being 100%, move the playhead a few seconds forward, and then decrease the saturation to 0. And that's how you get this cool transition between the colored and black and white footage. Now let's talk real quickly about pre-composed layers. If we go back to our original sequence that contains the logo, the text, and the video layers, we can select both the text layer and the logo layer while holding Shift on the keyboard. Right-click them, and then choose the option Pre-compose. Give it a name so we can stay organized, and then hit OK. What we basically did was, we grouped these two layers together into a single composition, which can appear in the project panel as you can see. Now, if you have another composition that contains other videos or elements, and we want to add the same logo and text animation onto this new composition, we can do so easily by dragging the pre-composed sequence from the project panel and place it onto this new sequence. And as you can see, we have the same animation going on without repeating the same process. Also, when we make edits on this pre-comp, the edits will be applied to both the layer and the text at the same time. For example, if we press S to reveal the scale and shrink down our pre-comp, both the text and the logo will be smaller in size with the same animation untacked. This won't affect the keyframes you made beforehand, like the animation you made beforehand. So yeah, that's the magic of pre-composed layers. Finally, once you're happy with your masterpiece, it's time to render the animations you made and export them as video files. Let's say you want to render this composition, open up the file menu, go to export, and then add to render queue. You can of course use the Media Encoder app to export your videos, but if you click on Add to Render Queue, you will directly export them from After Effects. It really depends on your preference, but right here on this page, I will show you the best render settings that you can use. First, keep the render settings as best settings. Under the output module, click on this blue text. So if you are exporting a regular MP4 video to share it on YouTube for example, set the format to H.264. You don't need to mess with the video output settings too much. However, click on Format Options, and here, keep this as hardware encoding for the performance, VBR1 pass for better quality. If you choose CBR, the video file will have lower size, but the quality will be a bit lower. Right here for the bitrate settings, the more bitrate you have, the better quality the video is gonna have, but the file will be much larger, and vice versa. I would say set this between 10 and 15. Click OK. Now click on Output 2 to set a location for your file on your computer. Just make sure to keep things organized and have folders for your animations and files. And then when you're happy, click on Render. That's about it for this mini course. Hope you found it helpful. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. You can also check out this playlist that includes all of my After Effects tutorials. Goodbye.